Well, thank you very much indeed, Nita, for that introduction, and to all of you for all of the role that you've been playing, not just today, but in the months leading up to today. Nita's right, I am passionate about this agenda. I keep having to pinch myself, actually, since taking on the role as Employment Relations Minister, because I keep getting these, submissions from the department and reading through things which are in my brief and thinking to myself, this is so incredibly exciting. Because this is exciting. And when David and Nita came to present the work that they'd done so far on this, I wasn't surprised at all to work out why one of my predecessors, Ed Davey, had been so enthusiastic about encouraging them to go away and develop it and culminate in what we have here today. And I wasn't surprised that the Prime Minister has also put his name to the importance of this initiative, because it is really vital to our economy. Now, I came into this room a few minutes ago, and I could, sometimes you walk into a room and you can feel the excitement, you feel the vibe and the energy and the fact that people are positive. And you can feel that sometimes when you go into a workplace. People are buzzing with ideas and they're on the phones and they're discussing things. And even when they're working quietly, you can almost hear the ideas. And then I'm sure we've also all had those experiences where you go in and it just looks like everybody's in the worst kind of drudgery imaginable. And so the reason this is important is not just because people can get excited about it, but it's important because we are facing unprecedented economic challenges, and trying to get the UK economy onto a path of sustainable growth so that there's going to be prosperity for future generations is something which we can't just sit back and take for granted. And government has been pursuing a whole range of different initiatives, rightly, in order to make sure that our economy can prosper and thrive. And whether that's about making it a better environment for business through cutting corporation tax, or whether it's through keeping low interest rates, or whether it's through improving employment law, all these things are important. But it strikes me that what you've been doing is possibly the most important. Because there is no doubt about it. The biggest asset that we have as a country is our 60 million people. And the biggest assets that any organisation has are the people who are working there, and in some cases volunteering there too. And so if we can harness that talent and unlock it and make sure that people who are currently giving 50 or 60 or 70% are able to throw themselves wholeheartedly into what it is they're doing, then just think about the benefits that we will all share in the economy as a result. And to anyone that ends up still doubting, although, to be honest, after all of the analysis that's been done and put forward and arguments that have been made, I hate to believe there is anyone that is still doubting. I'm sure there's not in this room. But perhaps when we go elsewhere outside, there will still be some people who doubt, who think that a little bit of investment in this is somehow a luxury that can't be afforded at the moment. Well, I would just encourage those people to think about the jobs that they've had. And probably most people, certainly this applies to me, have had the experience of having a job where, frankly, you hated it. And you go into work and you look at the clock and you try to keep yourself entertained in whatever way. I vividly remember when I worked at a fast food restaurant that I would try to work out how much money I'd earned at a particular point in my shift. So I'd been working for 2 hours and 34 minutes and I was earning £2.70 an hour. How much did that mean I'd actually earned up until that point? It was like I was trying to do anything that I could to try and just get myself through the shift because I didn't feel valued, I didn't feel like I enjoyed what I did. And that's not actually just about what it is that you are doing in terms of the stimulating nature or otherwise than your job, because after I left that job, I went to work in another retail environment where it was entirely different. And I felt that I enjoyed what I did. I wanted to take pride in serving the customer and making sure they were properly helped and that they left happy at the end of their experience in the store. And if you think about the jobs that you have really, really loved, the ones where you have given your all, then those have been the ones where you've felt engaged and valued, and you've had a manager that has acted in that way towards you and listened to what you've said, and where you also feel good about the organisation that you're working for. And that can be the case whether it's a charity or a government department or a small and medium-sized enterprise or a massive multinational corporation. It's not as if you can only feel good about one type of organisation, because part of it is about ultimately what your organisation does in terms of what they sell or what their objective is. But it's also a little bit about your organisation's soul. You know, what are their values? How do they, as a rule, treat their employees and their customers and their stakeholders? And does that all add up? Is it all coherent? So, to anyone that doubts, I say think about your own experiences and think about you as an employer. What type of employee do you want? Do you want the person who's giving it their all, or the person that's turning up and just looking at the clock until the shift is over? And I think that tends to convince people that this is something that is worth doing. So that really brings us to the next steps. And I would just say, sorry if you thought you'd done the hard work. This isn't the end. By all means, let's celebrate. That's very important. But this has to be the beginning. And I see on the flip charts around the room that there is a host of these ideas as to how we take this forward. Because that is what is absolutely essential. That the knowledge and commitment in this room does not stay just in this room. Because what you know will benefit other organisations, other companies, and ultimately the whole of the UK economy. So the challenge for us all, and I include myself in this, I've been evangelising about Engage for Success whenever I've had the opportunity over the last few weeks, is to encourage people to take it seriously. Doesn't need to cost an arm and a leg. And now we have this fantastic resource of the website where people can log on and see the experiences of others and share those ideas and best practice. But taking that first step, because then you can actually make sure that employees become more engaged. And it won't happen overnight. And, you know, if only 1 in 3 employees are engaged at the moment, then, you know, we're not going to get to 100% immediately. But just think about how much better things will be when we at least get to 2 in 3. So let's start that journey. Let's make sure that this is absolutely not the end. This is the beginning of something incredibly special indeed. I know that Nita and David and everybody who has been involved in this, who has given time, money, energy and commitment, needs huge thanks from all of us because it has been an amazing project so far, and it's so amazing that we need to make sure it goes on to the next level. Thank you very much.